Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerds Amalgamated. In case you missed last week, it's our new podcast name we've transferred from Top Shelf Nerds. I'm the Professor, and today we have Bucky and the DJ joining us.
Hello, I'm Buck.
Hey, I'm DJ.
How have you been, DJ?
I've been good.
Just
Yourself?
good?
Oh, yeah. Been good. I've been good. How about yourself, Professor?
I've been pretty good. What about you, Bucky?
I've been absolutely wiped out. Had family staying with us for the last few days, so a house full of kids. I think I need to just sleep for a week to recover.
You not able to keep up even with your reputation as the crazy uncle?
Oh no! That's the reason why I need to sleep for a week to just recover.
Must have been a fun gig. How long were they staying for?
Just a week.
It's not too bad.
A week's a long time to spend with family anytime.
Especially when you got a little nephew that has more energy than a nuclear power station.
We've got to work out how to harness this.
We've been saying that for years. Like there's just no stop. He doesn't stop. Even when he falls asleep, he still keeps moving.
If we do that, we could get a Nobel Prize. Speaking of which, our first topic today, Bucky, you would like to tell us who won the Nobel Peace Prize of Medicine?
Well, the Nobel Prize for medicine.
Okay.
The Peace. I think the Peace Prize is the penultimate special sort of thing. It's
Must have a typo in the show notes there, DJ.
No, it's not the DJ. The DJ never stuffs up. Congratulations. I have to be shouted out to a couple of amazing and brilliant minds for their discovery of how to prod a patient's immune system to fight cancer. For anyone who hasn't seen the story and kept up to date with Nobel Prizes, we've got James Allison and Tasuka Honjo. Yeah, sorry if I mispronounced your name there, mate. They've garnered the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for their fantastic work that was announced on October 1st in a news conference. So, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's for the discovery of cancer therapy by inhibition of negative immune regulation. Wow, that sounds like a mouthful.
Yeah.
You know what else is a mouthful? The prize of 9 million kroner that they get to share between themselves.
Not bad.
Which is just over $1 million.
I was about to say I'll look up the conversion rate.
Yeah.
Which country does the Nobel Prize? Sweden,
I think it's Sweden because it's in Stockholm.
Yeah, Sweden.
Yeah.
So you got to love the fact that it's always aimed at just trying to help improve humanity in such a simple, easy way.
Yeah, and it was created by Alfred Nobel, who felt like shit because he invented TNT and killed a bunch of people.
Well, no. See, this is the thing. He invented TNT for mining purposes, etc. He didn't develop it for weaponry. It was just abused and used for something other than what he wanted it for. So, hence the reason why he's doing this.
Yeah, there are a couple of with the awards with the Nobel prizes. There were a couple of other awards has been announced this week as well. They had the Nobel laureate for physics.
Yep.
Announced. The award
And who was that?
Gerard Moreau and Donna Strickland, and they're for the groundbreaking inventions in the field.
What did they actually do?
Yeah, that's I was going to say, for the groundbreaking invention in the field of laser physics. Oh, and Arthur Ashkin as well. He's also
involved. The three of them got it for lasers?
Yeah.
I love that you can just get an award for lasers.
It'd be something in the delivery of lasers.
Yeah.
And chemistry also got they announced for the chemistry as well.
Arnold, George Smith, and Sir Gregory Winter.
Yep.
develop for using evolution to develop new chemicals.
Oh, cool. Sort of like machine learning, but for chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the information's here in an article about it, but if I started going through it, I think I'd probably put half of it asleep. Which
Yeah.
we don't want. The conversion rate.
We're not 1/3 of life. Shout out to our other TNC podcast.
The conversion rate, 9 million kroner is $1.39 million, probably US. So, yeah.
And that's Swedish krona. Here's what
Yep.
was confusing me, because I remembered seeing a Nobel Prize Center in Oslo when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Nobel Peace Prize held in Oslo.
Okay.
All the other Nobel Prizes are held in Stockholm.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's hoping who's going to win the Peace Prize this year. So this is going to be interesting.
Can you see anywhere who had it the last couple of years?
Peace Prize last year was the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons. 2017, 2016 was Juan Manuel Santos. And 2015 was the Tunisian National Dialogue Quartet. But the interesting one for this year is there's no Nobel Peace Prize for literature, apparently.
No, that's apparently been canned.
Yeah.
I haven't actually read the reason why for that, though. But just something I just noticed. Donna Strickland, the Nobel Prize winner for physics, the lady who coined the term the God particle, has died, aged 96.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So, yeah. Brilliant lady. Like, if anyone ever wants to read through her research, it's absolutely mind-blowing. So,
I just found out why they canned the prize for literature.
and why was that?
Scandals, basically.
Oh.
Certain scandals.
Okay. Yep. Sexual assault, financial misconduct. Yeah.
That's a unfortunate situation.
Yeah, but here's the thing about the Nobel. When they always do the announcements for the Nobel Peace Prize, they always have a big concert, which I don't understand why. Why have a big concert?
It's a party to celebrate.
Yeah, the scientific the scientific Nobel Prizes have a lecture, so why don't you have a concert? I mean, like Bill Nye style, get a rock band in.
Like, when you look at all the bits and pieces that they've done, like what it's all about is it's purely a celebration of achievement in different fields. So you're going to have a party, but no music. Kind of sucks.
Do you want? Hate to be the bearer of bad news. Apparently, they're not going to do it this year. Apparently,
you just keep bringing us more and more bad news. This early in the show, and it's already you're crushing on the vibe.
Wow, you ruin it all. I should thank you for that, Bucky, getting rid of him.
I had to.
And he's back. I will not tell you when my birthday party is, because you've already ruined the Nobel Peace Prize party.
I actually just saw an article talking about Bob Dylan is apparently being considered as a Nobel Prize winner.
He already won it.
He did win it?
You can get it twice.
Yeah. They're talking about possibly considering him a second time.
Oh, sorry. Victor, you were saying?
Yeah, I said Marie Curie famously got it twice.
Mm.
I think she was physics and chemistry.
Yeah. And officially never properly trained at a university. She was self-taught.
Yeah, she, if I remember correctly, she learned a lot from her husband, and then went on and did so much great work with him in especially radiation, that it's what we base all of our modern radiation physics off of.
Interesting trivia, guys. Marie Curie is not the only person that's won it twice. The UNHCR has won it twice for the Peace Prize. John Bardeen has won it for physics twice, and chemistry went to Frederick Sanger.
Interesting. Though I feel like the NHRC is sort of an outlier there because it's an organization.
Yeah.
Yeah. but because of the work that it does, and they want to recognize all the people rather than just one person for it, and that's how they operate. So
yeah. I mean, I have no problem with giving it to an organization, but it seems easier for an organization to win it multiple times than an individual.
Yeah, especially one that does such fantastic work.
Yeah.
So we've got lots of links that are going to be going in with the show notes this week, looking at the Nobel Prize. So feed your minds, people. Feed your minds. You can make money. And it's also just fun.
Yeah.
And especially for the physics Nobel Prize, you get to see just how much of modern science was only discovered 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Although
Anyway.
I can't remember which scientist it was I can't remember if it was in his acceptance speech for his Nobel Prize or in an interview later. He said, "The more we learn, the more we realize we don't know. The more we realize we don't know, the more we desire to learn. And the exponential factor at which we learn is just becoming insanely hard to keep up with."
Oh yeah, it's even computer science, which is a fairly young field, is so big that no one can know it all. The author of The Art of Computer Programming admits that in the foreword to his fourth edition, where he explains that because it's so big and complicated, he has to publish it and go through a lengthy review process with letting the public pick it to shreds just so he can get it at least mostly right.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's one of the things you love with science. Like whenever you read a academically credible journal, every article in there has been torn to shreds by contemporary of the author that just look through to find anything that's at fault. And if it gets and by the time it actually gets published, it's probably been rejected at least 20 times beforehand. So yeah, you gotta love science.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on, our next topic, I wanted to talk about the game Infinitroid. It's the indie game that has sold 0 copies. The developer Luke realized this the other day and wrote a blog post about it. Well, earlier this year, actually. The blog post is from February. But he realized in 4 months, he's had 1,000 visitors to his game's website, but 0 sales. And it's funny, but I feel bad for the guy.
Hang on. Only 4 copies have sold.
Yeah, that's sales copies that he's given away, though.
Okay.
Oh, actually, if we scroll further down, I think off the top of my head, he said something along the lines of it being people who got a review copy and bought it again to support him. It's really unfortunate that it's happened like this, but he makes a good point. I'm not going to read off the full article, DJ, but he makes a good point about the flood of crap games. He has a table of annual Steam releases where in 2017 over 7,600 games came out, and that's more than any person can keep up with. It makes it almost impossible to get noticed.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it ultimately comes down to marketing.
Yeah, and that's the tricky part, because how do you market indie games well? Because you most likely don't have a big budget. You're not going to get very many sales. Even people who have huge followings are having trouble selling games at the moment.
Well, maybe he could say like, we are better than EA. This game is better than any game EA is doing right now.
But that's the point.
He has to prove it, because otherwise it becomes false advertising.
Yep.
And therefore liable for slander.
Yeah.
It's a point he makes in his conclusion. He says he could make it into an ethical game experiment, reduce the addictive qualities of the game, try to benefit people's lives beyond just consuming their time. Which his options are that, and focus on it as a purely hobby project. which I think is the way indie development has to go. It has to either do something hugely different to the mainstream, like being an ethical, unaddictive game. I'm not sure how well that would sell, though, considering addiction being the driver of so many games at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It was a whole segment of my degree, studying what goes on in games to make them addictive. But you've either got to do that or you've got to do it as a for the love of it art project. I'm wondering if we'll see people refer to it as the indie apocalypse, where the number of indie games came out increased massively over the last couple of years. I wonder if now we'll see that reverse and we'll go back to a small number of high quality indie games.
We can only hope so.
Yeah.
Like, nothing against having such a massive variety of games, but if you're trying to get yourself noticed, the only option looking at those figures is zero cost. So if you're going to put it out there for free, and you're more likely to have people start playing it and then just move from there.
And then, God forbid, microtransactions.
Well, no, I wouldn't even go microtransactions at the start. I would just let it run free. When you look at the success of PlayStation back in the early days, the games were only like $30 to $50, and you didn't have to do any microtransactions or whatever. I mean, you look at a lot of the PC games through the 80s. There was a lot of games that were just being shared amongst friends that were written by individuals who just gave them out for free amongst their friends.
Oh yeah, and it was the golden age of shareware.
Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised shareware hasn't come back because it's a really good way to do a demo. You release a demo and then let people buy more content if they want it.
Well, you had, Crystal Caves, and I think the original Duke Nukem, some of the stuff for that was originally done as a shareware.
Yeah. The first chapter of Quake was a shareware product.
Prince of Persia, I think, originally was shareware.
Yeah, but then nowadays it's more Kickstarter. You have to, if you have a project, you have to go through Kickstarter and get as much money as you can, and then do the whole thing.
Yeah, but that's just becoming a leech and you got scum-sucking maggots that are being involved there that are ruining it, and people are just getting sick and tired of it. Speaking of scum-sucking leeches, there was an update the other day for what was the one we were talking about the other week? That was your one, Professor.
Oh, which week?
A few weeks ago. The game that's raised, I think it was $300 million from
Star Citizen.
Star Citizen, that's it. They're being sued for breach of contract.
Oh boy. Is this about the Logjam engine?
Yeah. But from looking at some of the stuff, it looks like this initial legal action is only the forerunner for a lot of extra legal action that will go later. So, yeah, I think Star Citizen's going to crash and burn in a massive way because they've been promising the world but delivering nothing.
Yeah.
And they've been jamming on everyone else's franchises and just completely screwing things around.
As much as I want to see Star Citizen as a full finished product, I'm not expecting much.
The way things are looking, there may never be anything at all.
No, it'd be like a Ponzi scheme, more like it.
Well, that's what it sounds. Well, I don't know Ponzi scheme because he's not telling people that he's making them money. It's just everyone's buying content to get early releases. So, yeah, you'll probably see a massive class action for fraud.
That would be... it's going to be interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
CitizenCon, I believe, starts soon.
Oh, no, he started years ago.
No, Citizen... Oh, right.
Zinga!
Yeah, that starts on the 10th, so I doubt the court case will have wrapped up by then, but I want to see if they acknowledge that.
Be interesting, but yeah, the discovery at the moment is extremely broad, but yeah, if they get the information they want, I can see a lot of other legal actions that come out of it.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll start as I start seeing a collapse of Kickstarter. It's already not the biggest most popular thing anymore because people are realizing how many people are out there just for a con. But I wonder, Kickstarter has been careful to defend themselves legally from being sued about it. But I'm curious to see if anything sticks to them or if they lose that credibility because too many projects are flopping.
Yeah, right now I'm checking out the game section of Kickstarter, and there are a lot. There are a lot of games, from like board games to video games.
Yep. And not having funding up front is what's killed a couple of projects I've worked on. We got to the point where we realized there was no way to continue without funding, and we didn't have the funding and we couldn't afford to do it. But and even now I'm working on a project part-time on the side, so we all have full-time jobs that we're working on, and then we do the games on the side. And yeah, I'm worried it won't do well when we eventually release, but I'm in it for the experience and the fun of it. But I can't really see the whole super massive crowd-funded indie sort of thing going on too much longer.
If you did actually do the crowdfunding and you got half as successful with that as Star Citizen, you have $150 million. And all you all have had to have done is draw a few pictures.
Hello, Swiss bank account.
and just be an absolute arrogant turd about it.
You don't have to be a complete and utter bastard about it, but it helps.
Well, it's worked well for Star Citizen.
Yeah, so this article was published in February. I hope things are looking up a bit. I hope Luke worked out what he wants to do with his his work.
Personally,
I've just seen he's got a reply there from recently.
Oh, here we are. I see it too.
Yeah. He is going to work on finishing the game. So I hope that goes well for him, and I hope his sales pick up and he can make something worthwhile.
See, this has got, like, looking at some of the gameplay for Infinitroid, it looks so much like a lot of the old shareware games you used to get.
Yeah.
And that was a great marketing technique, is put it out there, let people play it, and if they like it, they can buy more. So, yeah, maybe he should go with it in that direction as a shareware, where it's just been released for free for this chapter and classified as shareware, and just put it out there on the net and let everyone go for their lives.
Yeah, maybe.
Bring back the shareware approach. Viva la revolution. Let's get back to when games were fun.
Hashtag make shareware great again.
Oh, someone shoot that. No, although I have to say, the Make America Great Again, I think he was actually talking about grating the carrot and other bits and pieces for making salad.
No, that American cheese, I would never grate that. It's horrible cheese. It's bloody orange.
I wasn't talking about grating the cheese. I was talking about grating the carrots and salad stuff.
Yeah, but this is Americans. They're not going to be that healthy, right?
Wow.
There'll be something deep fried in the salad. As
his podcast advertises on American websites.
Oops.
Hello, America.
But I agree with Buck.
We secretly love you. We don't actually hate you.
I agree with Buck about the whole being made in shareware. I think I'm agreeing with the professor about the whole concept of Kickstarters being collapsing as well, because nowadays we got Patreon, and that's more successful than Kickstarter at the current stage.
I don't think it's more successful. It's a different thing.
I'm having a heart attack.
Kickstarter is about getting an end product. Patreon is about throwing a couple of bucks at someone to keep producing regular content.
So if you was going to do that, like you can release the game as a shareware, and then Patreon users can get extra maps and content.
Yeah.
There you go. We solved his problem.
Luke, if you're listening to us, we got a solution to your problems.
We accept royalties in our Swiss bank accounts.
And in the meantime, I enjoy a good soy mocha. So yeah, you can pay me in mocha and danishes or something like that, or salads.
I was just scrolling through the new game projects on Kickstarter, and I'm very happy to see that Simon Stellenhag's, probably pronounced it wrong, Simon Stellenhag's Things from the Flood RPG got funded. Massively overfunded. His team were looking for 15,000 Australian dollars. They got 465,000.
Cool.
This is the sequel to Tales from the Loop, which was a sort of Stranger Things tabletop RPG inspired by Simon Stellenhag's artwork, which is some really impressive stuff. It blends like cyberpunk, sci-fi, and 80s and 90s culture really well.
Okay.
Anyway, so we'll move on to DJ's topics. You came with 3 topics this week because you couldn't pick just one.
I couldn't pick just one, and also not to mention, a lot of interesting things have happened in the world of movies and comics this week. Last few weeks actually. As you know, today the Venom movie has came out. Venom movie has been released, and I went and saw it today.
Hey, just out of curiosity, has the Venom movie actually been released yet?
It's out. It's out now. It's out now.
Okay, I just wasn't sure.
So I took the opportunity to watch it today, actually, and I was hoping it would be some sort of dark movie, but it just didn't have that darkness at all. It just had action and humor.
Hang on. You're hoping for a dark movie from Marvel.
Hey, what can I say? Logan was dark, and that was from Marvel.
It wasn't that dark.
And it's not really a main Marvel cinematic universe thing.
Yeah.
It was
Venom's,
shady at best.
Yeah.
Venom is I haven't seen it, it's but it's part of the MCU because it ties into Spider-Man, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. Unfortunately, they wanted to, but Disney
the origins of the lore are from Spider-Man, so that's where it's come from. I think that's what the professor was referring to there.
Yeah.
The lore.
And I hadn't realized they weren't doing it this time, but I know that was it Andrew Garfield, the old Spider-Man movies from like 15 years ago.
No, that's Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, I know that one of them had Venom in it.
Yeah. Oh, that's Topher Grace. For those who don't know, Topher Grace, he's Eric from That 70s Show. But I went and saw the Venom movie, and it had a bit of humor.
How many unicorns did they have running through?
Not many unicorns actually.
Okay.
But I will say this: Tom Hardy nailed Venom really well. He nailed it really well.
I can't see that poster without thinking of him as Mad.
Yeah, I kind of had that too. I kind of had that feeling too. But I would say a little spoiler about that movie. It has some post-credit scenes.
Spoiler alert!
Hang on. How's that a spoiler? Like, hey, it's a Marvel Universe movie. Marvel movies always have trailer pieces.
And considering a few days ago when we were talking about topics before you'd even gone and seen it, you had an article about how it had like 3
two
post-credit scenes. 2 post-credit scenes.
Only
the post-credit
2
scenes are at least as long as the actual movie.
Well,
only 2 credit scenes. Was it for Guardians of the Galaxy? Had 5?
Yeah, they had like 5. Yeah, 5 of them. Yeah.
The original or the second?
The second one.
I think the first one had about 5 in it as well. Because you had where Groot was a teenager. And a few others in there.
Yeah, the second one has 5 of them.
And the first one has?
1. Just 1.
No, it doesn't.
I'm serious. First one just had one. It was just basically the collector just sitting on a destroyed archive room.
Yeah,
What
with
about-
Howard the Duck.
What about with Groot as a teenager? Because doesn't Groot get sacrifice himself to save everyone in the first one?
Yeah, he does, but then he grows back into a.
Yeah, but
Yeah, there's that scene
part
where
of
he's
the-
dancing.
one of the post scenes in that was him as
Yeah.
a teenager.
Well,
Where
I
he's
got
being told
his.
to tidy up his room.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, that's second one. That's the second one. You're talking about. That's from the second
Actually,
Guardians of the
Yeah,
Galaxy.
it is.
It is.
Yeah, so the second one has Kraglin trying to use
Yondu's arrow.
Stucker Ogord and his crew, which was the scene with Sylvester Stallone, because bloody hell, that name's hard to pronounce.
And then you got Groot being a teenage.
Yeah, Aisha creating Adam and teenage Groot,
and
family
you'll.
prattling on.
Mhm. And also a group of watchers as well with Stan Lee.
Prattling on.
Yep. Yeah, the Venom movie. It's good to watch if you want a good movie, good action, not a good action movie, but a movie to laugh at and stuff. But yeah,
I remember last year. Did you see the movie Life?
life.
No, I lived it.
There's
It's
a movie.
horror movie about picking up a alien from Mars and getting onto the ISS and then going all the alien sort of thing crossover.
I can't remember something about that now. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's fairly like bog standard monster in a spaceship movie. But I remember there being all this talk about how it's obviously going to be a prequel to Venom, because there was a scene in the trailers where they borrowed a clip of a crowd from one of the Spider-Man movies.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, it's obviously a prequel, and then turned out to not be true.
But with the Venom movie, the other thing I was kind of upset about was I was thinking there'd be a lot of gore in this movie, but Sony before the movie came out decided we're going to make this movie PG-13. So
Hang on.
oh.
You're expecting
Marvel's-
gore from a Marvel movie?
hey, I'm still gonna post. I'm still gonna point at Logan and see how. And that was a violent movie.
It's
Yeah, but
still
it
not
wasn't
a mainstream Marvel movie.
That was an X-Men, not Marvel. Yeah.
Well, it did. Well, not in the current Marvel universe, but in the X-Men, in the old X-Men universe, it's still following that movie.
Is there even an X-Men universe? I thought they've reset time and every so many times now, no one has any idea what the actual timeline is.
Well, basically, from what I've gathered, is
No, don't get into it.
Nah, I'm not gonna.
We don't have time.
Yeah,
And we're not interested. Everything you just said is like kind of trying to like call it Canadian American by saying X-Men is Marvel.
fair enough. What else has happened as well besides the Venom movie? Oh, then a couple of days ago,
This is where we find out the DJ doesn't remember his own articles.
Nope. This is the one about how the X-Men Dark Phoenix trailer has been delayed. The Dark Phoenix movie has been delayed. Again.
Literally right after the trailer came out, too.
Yeah. It's now moved up to February 14th.
See, this is an influence
June.
of Marvel.
Yeah. I don't understand it. Like, why move from February to June all of a sudden? Like, what's the point?
Because June is in the American summer. And they
Holiday
like to release
time.
movies in summer because people like to go somewhere with air conditioning and go and sit and chill out for a few hours.
Plus, it's also in the middle of the holidays, whereas February is at the end of the holidays, starting a school.
Yeah.
So, therefore, if you're going to release a movie, it's always it's the best to do it in either December or June.
So, as a result of this delay, a couple of other movies have been delayed. For example, Gambit. The movie is now going to be on March 13, 2020, with Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they've got time to delay it again.
But by the way, the Gambit movie is going to be a romantic comedy, which I don't understand why.
Ew.
They're being influenced by Marvel to become rainbow loving unicorn riding hippies.
But a non-Marvel related movie has been also delayed now. It's Battle Angel Alita.
Alita Battle Angel. Get it right.
Now that's been postponed to February 14, 2019.
Oh,
So I was like,
maybe that was delayed as push the others back. But when you look at the artwork and everything in Alita, it's mind-blowingly beautiful artwork.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I hope it's worth the wait for all these movies to come out. Well, except for Gambit, but I hope that both of those movies are worth the wait.
Well, if they end up being shit, I'm sure your next article will help you drown your.
Well, I could drink away the pain, but with a Miyazaki beer, which I hope will be delicious.
I'm thinking maybe I should drink a couple of cases to drink away the pain of this show.
All beer tastes terrible to me.
So
yeah, but if you drink enough of it, even the DJ makes sense.
Recently, two of the Studio Ghibli founders teamed up with a microbrewery to promote Totoro beer, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It has a very nice looking picture of Totoro, and the kanji doesn't spell Miyazaki's name, but rather the one of the other founders of Studio Ghibli. It looks really nice. The bottle itself. Let's see I wonder does it say how much does it cost though? Oh, here it is. It's priced at $39 for a 6-pack.
I mean, I don't buy beer, but that sounds pretty expensive.
Yeah,
because I can get a 6-pack of expensive Recorder League for cheaper than that.
But when you start looking at microbrew, so forth like that, that's actually pretty standard pricing from what I can remember.
Fair enough.
And let's not forget, just while this beer is coming out, Game of Thrones announced they're releasing its own brand of whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks courtesy of Johnny Walker, and it's called the White Walker.
Yeah, only if you're drinking a couple of them. If you drink too many, you're not walking. You'll go from being the White Walker to the White Puker.
Is there such a thing as a white Scotsman, like a white Russian, but with whiskey?
No, but there are blue Scotsmen. I watch Braveheart.
Oh, I see where he got that from. Does that make you sound?
There is actually a drink called the Blue Scotsman or something as well.
Wait, I've got to see this. It's interesting though how
where it was someone was saying the bartender at a bar made them a drink called the Blue Scotsman.
It's interesting though how many TV shows have come up with their own beer or beverage for that matter.
Yeah, it's a fairly easy tie-in.
Yeah, even the
here we go. I did Google. There is a White Scotsman cocktail.
Oh,
okay. There's a Flying Scotsman cocktail, and there is a Blue Scotsman cocktail as well.
Okay. So basically, in the cocktail world, just combine color and nationality, and you have a drink.
Pretty much.
Although
blue, for anyone interested, the Blue Scotsman, it's blue Caraca, dry vermouth, orange bitters, Scotch. That's all I can see at the moment.
The Flying Scotsman cocktail recipe. Can't see the Blue Scotsman.
The White Scotsman is rum chata and coffee, specifically from McDonald's. I have no idea why it has to be McDonald's coffee, but alcohol drinkers confuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of TV shows that have beverages of their own, do you guys ever remember that show True Blood?
Yep.
I know of it. I didn't know it had a drink.
It had its own drink release for a while, yeah.
Yeah. It's still going, mind you. Oh, wait, no, it's currently unavailable, but it's a 14-ounce for 4-pack.
You know, ounce is a measurement of volume.
Yeah, 14 ounces. But I'd like to try. I would pay to try one of those Miyazaki beers.
Well, you'd have to, unless you get arrested for stealing.
Would you keep the bottle though, just for like collectors kind of thing, like after drinking the beer?
Like if you pay $39 for a 6-pack, yeah.
And it says it's got original art on it, so if you're into that, it's probably worth collecting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't open the bottle, which reminds me of someone I saw on Reddit who had a collection of different flavors of Pepsi or something.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them had not aged well.
One of the things you'll like with this is the fact that it's not coming from one of the macro breweries. It is actually from a small brewery in Niigata Prefecture, being brewed by Eshigo Beer.
So it's a genuine Japanese company as well.
Oh yeah, it's 100% it's purely and utterly Japanese.
More than you can say for the White Walker, because I'm sure they didn't bother asking Westeros. Although I wonder if maybe a Croatian drink. I don't know what they drink in Croatia, but it's where they film some of the main scenes. So
they drink slivovitz in Croatia and the Slavic areas.
Okay,
which is a homemade peach brandy sort of thing.
There are some.
Sounds nice.
And it's usually actually a cloudy white color, or depending on how many times it's been distilled. But yeah, it's basically pure rocket fuel.
There are a couple of Croatian beers as well. I'll post up in the show notes.
It reminds me of being on a Nordcap at midnight in a cloud, the northernmost point of Europe, and one of the guys had bought this Norwegian alcohol, which just burnt you to death. I don't know what it was or what was in it, but one sip of that and everything burned.
Mm-hmm. You get some of the vodkas. Their alcohol content is so ridiculously high.
And as we were discussing a few weeks, which is famously high ABV as well. We've spent quite a bit of time talking about booze now.
Yeah.
We are Nerds Amalgamated, not Glass of Wine. Shout out to our other That's Not Canon friends. So, shout outs for this week. That was not a pun. Shout out to Minecraft. Having
you forgot. You forgot.
Oh, fine. Shut up. You're gone. You're done. Yes, I forgot the games. So, Bucky, what did you play?
I don't know. What have I been playing, DJ?
You've been playing Vikings.
Yep, Battle for Asgard. What it's called. So yeah, played this years ago on the PlayStation 3 and saw it available with Humble Bundle, and I thought I'm going to go play that. And I have to say, it is a lot of fun. Although, yeah, just very jittery when you're moving around with the mouse and so forth. Which I think even on the PS3 it was still kind of jittery at times, depending on how fast you moved.
So it's a programming issue, not a lag issue.
Oh no, it's not a lag, and it's not like it's slowing down. It's the sensitivity is just set automatically at a pretty high level.
So that's unfortunate.
When you're moving around, you can move really, really quickly, which is good for when you're in combat stages. You can sit there and do a lot of stuff. But it's a lot of fun. Like, don't get me wrong, it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it just seems odd that it would end up being jittery.
Yeah, I'm saying jittery. I'm probably using the wrong word. It's just it just moves really, really quick.
Oh, okay, that's
when you're moving around. So, like, the game is 15 years ago. 15 years, almost 15 years old.
What console did you say you played it on?
PS3. The PS3 hadn't been out that long.
That says something about how old the PS3 is now.
Yeah.
And I still remember when I thought it was new. I'm getting old, Bucky. What do I do?
Quick, drink some Totoro beer.
I don't like beer.
Drink tea. Start working on your frown and going, when I was younger.
How long until I can play chess in the cafe and yell at kids?
Can do that now.
Great.
I used to do that when I was a teenager.
You mean
Seriously, I had friends who played chess in competitions when I was a teenager. So we used to sit back at Macca's playing chess.
Gotta get the training in.
So yeah, but so the whole game system was set up for PCs that were, say, probably would have been, if you're lucky, an i5. So yeah, running it on my i7 quad core, it's probably a little bit overpowered compared to what the game requires. So yeah, I've noticed that with a few of the older games, when you start putting it into systems that are more up to date, it starts to show some issues.
Yeah.
But overall, it's still a lot of fun. You run around and you get to hack up and chop up all the bad guys with a sword and an axe. You get it to improve your weapons and abilities. You have to find mead to take back to the camp, and you fight the big bosses who are harder to kill than the others, and you loot them. So yeah, all up, it's actually really nice artwork and all that when you consider the time and everything. It was, yeah, used to be a lot of fun to sit back and play for a couple of hours at a time.
Okay. Yeah. Are there any more Vikings games or?
Possibly. I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment. Sorry.
Okay, a second. I'm just looking it through.
I think this was based on the lore. Like, I got this one on PlayStation 3, and it was originally supposed to be for Xbox.
Okay. This thing came out 2012. That was around God of War, wasn't it? When that came out.
I used to play both of them.
God of War 3 that came out in 2012? No, 2010. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege.
Ah, yes.
So what's the premise of the storyline for that one?
I think actually it does have a plot. Like, well, not really a plot, but the premise is that the anti-terrorist teams are competing against each other for training missions, which is why you have like FBI on both sides.
Okay.
Although the amount of real blood says otherwise.
So you got all the DLC, or?
No, it's not really DLC. It's more early access to particular characters and getting them unlocked automatically.
Mm-hmm.
I unlock all my characters by grinding. Although a few months ago they made that pointless for me because they unlocked all of the characters from the first 2 years or whatever for free. So all the characters that unlocked already were like not complaining, but it's nice having access to more characters.
Yeah, I'm looking at the page and saying there are a couple of DLC stuff, like with the recent one that just March the 6th onwards, and there's Operation Chimera Season 1.
Yeah, the operations are when they add new characters.
Okay.
And they release them, and the new characters are locked to people who have the Operation Season Pass.
Yeah.
I don't think there is any actual DLC, like, apart from new characters and maps.
Yeah.
So, did you ever play any of the Ghost Recon as well?
Many, many, many years ago.
Now you're sounding
so
old.
there's, like, cosmetic DLCs. That's pretty much it.
Oh, when was the last time I played? I don't think I played any of the Tom Clancy games. Would love to, though.
I love the destruction physics in this game. One of my favorite things is using drones to mark locations and then blowing through a wall to take people out.
Mm-hmm.
And each character gets their own gadget. So you have one character on the defensive side who can see people through walls, but then you'll have someone on the attacker's side who has one of my favorites, Fuse. People who play the hostage maps will hate me for this, but Fuse has a device. He straps it to a wall and then it shoots grenades through the wall, and they bounce around the room and blow everything up.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, he's known for people who use him as a hostage killer by accident, because they'll go and whack it in on the room that has the hostage in it.
Yes.
But is the destruction physics similar to what we see at Battlefield and Red Faction?
Not as good as Red Faction. You can't knock a building down, and I think they're about on par with Battlefield. Can you shoot through walls in Battlefield?
No,
Like with the
No.
wall still standing?
Nah, it gets easily destroyed. Depending on which gun, though. Like if it's a RPG, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you get your rifle and just spray a wall, do the bullets go through?
No, not really. No.
Okay. Yeah, so in this one you can do that. Bullets penetrate walls. You can whack up fortifications that will stop that, but then the attackers might have a thermite who can break down those fortifications and other stronger walls. So there's a lot of different tactics, and a lot of developing your tactic for a particular match comes down to knowing what the other team has on their side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you gotta love all of the Tom Clancy games because of the fact that all of his stuff has always been so accurately presented and realistic in its portrayal. There's actually a TV show for after one of his Rainbow Six games came out, and they were looking at a lot of the modern warfare sort of stuff and a lot of the things that are available, let's say with the drones and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think they even tried to make a series where they were looking at some of it. But yeah, they actually showed, I think it was the British SAS doing a training operation against the Americans, and the Brits actually managed to use a drone that they'd stolen from the Americans to drop in a C4 pack to where the Americans were hidden from above and explode it. So, yeah.
Interesting news, guys, in regards to Rainbow Six. There's a Rainbow Six movie coming out soon.
Has anyone else actually read the book?
I haven't. I've read a couple of Tom Clancy, but none of the Rainbow Six books.
I've read pretty much all of the Tom Clancy books. I have, well, when I say all of them, I haven't read the Net series and Op Center, not like and Op Center ones. I've read all the Jack Ryan and John Clark stuff. So
yeah.
So what have you been playing, DJ?
I've been playing Path of Exile lately.
And yes, that is the Hallelujah chorus playing there in the background.
It's been long since I last played Path of Exile, and getting back to it's hard to get the mechanics back in, getting the controls back in order. But once you get understand the controls, it's easy. Just get into the groove, just hitting waves and waves of monsters.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm on what act? I'm on Act 2.
Okay.
So I've defeated Minerva. Was it Minerva? No, one of the sirens.
I can't remember. It's a while since I played it as well.
Yeah.
But I was up a lot higher. Yeah. So
For
those who don't know Path of Exile, it's an RPG style game where you develop your character and you increase their abilities, but you also increase their ability, like their armor abilities as well. So
it's like Diablo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Diablo on speed. So where Diablo 3 should have gone. Your armor abilities.
So you got a bunch of guys running going, "Oh yeah, I love Demon Slayer. Oh yeah."
No, you got a bunch of you have different characters. Like there's a witch, and there's a dual wielding character, and then the character I was using, which I think DJ uses similar, is more of a tank than a barbarian.
Yeah.
And then you have a paladin sort of style who has a staff rather than a sword. And you have a witch. So you can do missions and all that and clear the map as a team as well. So yeah, you run through and you have someone from all the different for each of the character classes, and yeah, it's just absolutely insane.
And the weapon, and you can also design your weapons as you defeat enemies. Some of them drop gems, and you can load them up to weapons, and it can pack a punch.
Fair enough. Anyway, we're going to have to go to the shout-outs because we're running over time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
This week, our events of interest include the 110th anniversary of the Model T Ford, available in any color you like as long as it's black. That's from 1908. In 1952, Britain conducted their first atomic bomb test, which Also, not this test, but a later one, makes the UK the only country to nuclear bomb Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Then in 1957, Sputnik was launched and really upset the Americans who wanted to be the first ones to space. In 1724, the Russian Academy of Sciences was founded in St. Petersburg by Peter the Great. It was called the St. Petersburg Academy of Sciences until 1970. Then in 1780, Americans got jealous and made the American Academy of Arts and Science in Boston, with James Baldwin, John and Samuel Adams as founding members.
Mm-hmm.
And
don't forget your Minecraft milestone.
Yeah, my brain is skipping over everything tonight.
That's all right.
So, other milestones. Minecraft has just announced Minecraft Dungeons, a new roguelike sort of game, roguelite actually, and their new expansion, Village and Pillage. But they've also hit 91 million active users and 154 million copies sold.
Wow.
And what astounds me about that is that they've still got such a high active percentage.
Yeah.
Because they're almost 2/3 of their player base are still active. And the game's been out for 8 years now, since it became really big.
Mm-hmm. I was
2009.
My nephews and nieces last week. Whenever they come over, it's always one of the things that has to be put on the TV for to play. And
yes,
one of my nephews has got I haven't been keeping up with all the expansions and updates, but he's got one there where he's got sports cars and race cars or something, and you can build your own car and customize it and race it around. So
yeah, the Minecraft community for Minecraft is amazing.
Oh yeah. Like you, I think I remember someone made an old school Game Boy Color, like a gigantic version of it.
They built an emulator using in-game items and the command blocks. So not as impressive to me as if they built it entirely using redstone, which is basically electricity.
Mm-hmm.
But they are running a full emulator in the game, which is pretty damn impressive. So next up, we have The Nun becoming the highest-grossing Conjuring film.
Now, how much money did that movie made?
Lots.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yep.
No, it's $330 million worldwide.
Almost as much as Star Citizen, and he hasn't even done anything.
We'll use The Nun to scare him, to doing something.
Now we'll just show him pictures to you and say we're going to send you to live with him.
I still think they should call these the Warren investigations or something, not the Conjuring universe.
Yeah. Are they based on a series of books or something though?
They're based on the true cases that not the true for certain values of true, but they're based on the cases that the Warren family investigated.
Yeah.
And they wrote books about it, so I suppose you could say that. Also, an odd coincidence that I've been playing Rainbow Six this week. It's the 5th anniversary of Tom Clancy's death.
Yeah. Such a shame, but a man who brought so much joy to so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this week in 1985, Rock Hudson died of AIDS, the first major US celebrity to die of AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Yeah, it's not a pretty way to go in the 80s.
Yeah. When was Freddie Mercury's death from
91,
AIDS?
I think.
Yeah, he was after that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all we have for tonight. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube. We're going to have some YouTube videos coming up soon of us playing horror-themed board games to get in the spirit for Halloween. We're not just pandering to the Americans. But check us out there on our Twitter, send us an email, and check us out on Spotify, which we just got onto this week. We are now on Spotify, available under our new name, Nerds Amalgamated.
Awesome.
Yes. But that's all, so we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Hooroo.